Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. It's Ian here. Today we're going to give you another top tip, and we're talking about vehicle limits and vehicle checks. Now for us, we think that vehicle checks are absolutely essential as part of the driving task, and we do that on a weekly basis here to make sure we are, and it's our own vehicles, we do it on a weekly basis to make sure. We also have a daily check where we just wander around the vehicle to check the vehicle is tyres are inflated and the vehicle's in good order. In general, when we train to drive, in terms of driving, we have vehicle checks to do. Now, from my experience, and this happens far too commonly, I've seen drive trainers, and I understand the reasons why, but they deliver a vehicle check as per what the Driving Vehicle and Standards Agency do for their driving questions, and sometimes that happens literally on the day of test. Well, the point of doing that is that we are fully ready for lifetimes of driving and how to check the vehicle. You know, Roadcraft's really good. It provides a powder or power check in the back. It's a really good way of checking your vehicle. So P for power to stop and go, so petrol and brakes, oil, water, electrics and rubber. I'd also add damage to make it a powder into that as well, so checking for damage on the vehicle, but also safe and secure loads to it as well. And those are the types of things we'd check. You know, understanding vehicle checks is quite important, and I think we should go in a bit more depth on that, which we'll do in a later video. But also understand the vehicle limits. So understanding, you know, what is the limit of your vehicle? Well, the thing is, we won't know that until we've got to that stage. So for we complete skid car training at various different venues. It's not that expensive in the whole scheme of things, but we really should be maybe engaging with that and using that to understand, you know, where the limits of the vehicle are. How does the ABS work? How does the ESP work? You know, what extent can we get to? How does under and oversteer work? And how, you know, what extent do we get to and then recover? And how do we control that? And then when we're on the road, hopefully we'll understand. Now, an example of this might be about following distances or stopping distances. Although we're sort of prescribed those in the highway code, which is based on old vehicles, and I appreciate that. But there's several different reasons for that not changing, and absolutely imperative and correct reasons. But you know, we really should go out and do 70 mile an hour and do an emergency stop, or dare I say, and this is talking about track, by the way, on track, dare I say, doing 80 and 90 mile an hour and doing an emergency stop. So we understand that exponential braking curve and how we brake mostly towards the end of braking. Or most of the speed comes off towards the end of braking. We really should understand that as drivers or riders of vehicles, or even pedestrians. We should understand how that works. And I think the best way of doing that is physically on a track, going to do it and doing lots of emergency stops at different speeds, so we sort of get an indication of how that works, and also how to do that braking. A lot of people not necessarily trained in a really good way on doing that, but we should really know how to brake. But we have to remember that we share the road, and that's another part of the issue. Is it's okay if we can stop quickly in a Porsche, whereas the truck driver behind may take an extension, significantly longer to stop. So that's part of that process. So understanding vehicle limits and also understanding how to check our vehicle, for me, that's the top tip for the moment. So making sure that we do those things, and that will help us prevent having an incident, because we understand where the limit of the vehicle is, but also we've checked it and we're going to make sure it performs. We tend to be slightly optimistic on that on vehicle checks, because we tend to drive more modern vehicles and they tend to tell us when things have gone wrong. But the word there is important, tends to. And I've been out in lots of vehicles where we had literally no oil, but there's no warning lights. And again, there's things like tyre tread depth. It doesn't give you warnings for that on the dashboard. We've got to check it manually. So there's lots of reasons why you still need to do your vehicle checks manually, and it's very wise to do so. So anyway, thanks for listening. That's our tip for today. Please subscribe below and feel free to comment. I'm quite willing to listen to your comments, and I'll be interested to hear what you've got to say. There's more tips coming soon, so listen out. And yeah, thanks for listening, and tune in again soon. Thank you.